which Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Toy Tuesday, My Marvel Legends. I had conducted a poll last week to know which Marvel Legends action figures of mine are you most interested to have a look at. And the majority has spoken. The results were quite astonishing because based on my perception, I was under the impression that most of the requests will come for the Avengers. But while Avengers was the second most requested, the first one turned out to be the X-Men. Uncanny X-Men. They were created in 1963, roughly around the same year, or in the same year as the Avengers. Both of these franchises had celebrated their 30th anniversary in 1993. In 1993, that led to the unleashing of a term that was called gimmick covers, whereby we would be seeing covers that were gold foil variants, silver foil variants, you had holographic cards, all of the sorts. Now, because I have a lot of action figures for the X-Men that represent various eras of the team, I wanted to start out with one of my most favorite cast members who took part in one of the greatest Marvel stories, I think, which is second only to Spider-Man's The Night Gwen Stacy Died. And this one, the one that I'm talking about, is the Dark Phoenix Saga. So as you can see over here, I have only those X-Men present that were the main part of the storyline. I don't have the Hellfire Club action figures as of yet, but once I have them, I'll be showcasing them too. The only difference that you will find here is that the Storm action figure, which hasn't been released, the 70s version of Storm, the one that had the cape but had a little bit of more revealing clothing compared to the one that we have here. So I've taken the 1990s Jim Lee version of Storm because I don't have any other variant at the moment. However, all the other action figures that you find are representing that particular storyline. Wolverine, which you've seen before, represents the John Byrne artwork. You have Jean Grey as the Phoenix in her green attire, which later converts into the red one. Then we have Cyclops, the 70s and the early 80s version before he formed X Factor. Colossus, his attire, which continued up until the 90s. Professor Xavier is the more modern iteration from the Grant Morrison new X-Men saga, but this action figure can also work with this. Why? Because during Dark Phoenix Saga, Professor Xavier was not having his famous hovering chair that was designed and imagined by Jim Lee in the 90s. He was pretty much on a standard wheelchair. So, and the attire is very much representative of that era as well. Now I want to show you in a more zoomed in version of it. So first up is the Dark Phoenix Jean Grey in green attire. You can see the Phoenix Force behind her. This can be basically, this can hang on the wall. This can be affixed on the surface because it has the placement for the nails or for the stoppers. So this is the main one. Then we have my favorite mutant, Nightcrawler, aka Kurt Wagner, who teleports. Then we have Storm with the cape. This one is mostly based on Jim Lee's design from the 90s. But this is the closest one I have because Storm during the Dark Phoenix Saga was having this particular attire, except that it was a bit more revealing. This one is pretty much covered. Then we have Colossus, Peter Rasputin, Piotr. Cyclops with his bell bottoms. Then we have Professor Xavier. You can see his wheelchair. The same design was incorporated in the X-Men movies as well, when Patrick Stewart was playing Professor Charles Xavier. And last but certainly not the least is the action figure which I had showcased in my previous Marvel Legends episode. My first action figure which I bought from Saudi Arabia. My first Marvel Legends action figure that I bought from Saudi Arabia, Wolverine, based on John Byrne's art from Dark Phoenix Saga. This is the art that I'm talking about for Wolverine, done beautifully by John Byrne. These are my X-Men from the Dark Phoenix Saga storyline. I will be showing you the other era X-Men that I have. 90s is a very important part. I don't have the first edition yet, but I at least have the 90s version and the early to mid 2000s Astonishing X-Men version when Cyclops and Emma Frost were leading the team. So I hope you liked this episode. Please make sure to like this video, share it, and subscribe to my YouTube, like my Facebook page, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Thank you very much for watching, and see you all next week.